sensory garden. Right, so Naishola Gardens or sensory garden.
Sensory garden.
Yes, so I want us to introduce ourselves. So she'll introduce herself and you also will introduce yourself, including telling me which country are you from, if you're residents or non-residents. So let's begin with that.
You know me, and we hope to get in some good vibes between us, and also you're welcome.
Yes, that is
We are not single.
Oh, thank you so much.
She has a lot of
Only one single.
Oh my God, only one single. Okay, that is so nice. And it's sponsored by the European Union.
Okay.
So
जी हम जनाब ये अभी टूर स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं तो ये इन्होंने इसका जो है टी पॉट्स का डायरेक्शन दी हुई है फिर लेक है टिगोनी और नेपोशा गार्डन्स बोट राइड एंड जेट स्काई तो ये जनाब ये भी बच्चे यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं तो अपना जनाब कर रहे हैं अभी हम ये टी गार्डन की तरफ जो है वो मूव कर रहे हैं ये चाय के बागात हैं
it is part of the package and part of the story.
उन्होंने हमें बास्केट्स भी दी हैं ताकि आज हम जो है वो चाय के बागात में से चाय को तोड़ के ज़रा वो भी एक्सपीरियंस लेंगे जमील साहब रेडी हैं उन्होंने जनाब बास्केट पहन ली हुई है ये हम चाय के बागात में एंटर हो गए वंडरफुल एक्सपीरियंस वंडरफुल लैंडस्केप और ये थोड़ा जो है वो पहाड़ी टाइप का लैंडस्केप है जिस तरह इस्लामाबाद में है और ऊंचा नीचा है दरमियान से हम ये बिल्कुल ऐसे जिसकी मिट्टी भी ज़रा सुर्खी माइल सी है ब्राउनिश all organic we Pakistani drink tea so much so we like tea our Pakistanis have teas around 5 to 10 times a day
That is good. That is good. So
yeah, people,
you are at the right place today.
yeah
I think there is a lot to learn about tea today.
yeah
Because whenever we even mention tea, we say that there is culture that is attached to it,
okay
trade that is attached to it, colonial influence and history. So we are going to really study a lot,
okay
get to know the plant that we love,
okay
how is it even being processed,
okay
because there are a lot of misconceptions that are around this plant.
yeah
That our main goal and ultimate goal is to make sure that people get to understand everything to do with the tea and why it's called the backbone of Kenya's economy.
okay
Yes.
okay
Most. All over the world it's tea.
How much $1 million you earn from the tea?
I mean, it being a backbone of our economy, it means that it's only thing that we can export in large amount.
Let's take.
We're going to understand all that. I pack a lot of information in my head to just give to appropriate guys like you. Yes. So, as I said before, and then we just want to dive into the world of tea. All right?
yeah
The world of tea.
Yeah, the world of tea. When you come to Naishola here, we take you to each and every. So I don't want to leave anyone behind.
आयो यार. Okay, carry on.
Okay, so we are here ideally to measure our discussion and our learning in 4 aspects. So number 1, we say that when tea is mentioned, there is culture, there is history, there is colonial influence and trade that is attached to it. So as we are going to talk about this crop, we are going to understand where was it first discovered, how was it discovered, the journey and the path it took until it got itself in Kenya, and we're also going to see their history that is attached to it, how trade played a role in transportation of all these products, and how colonial influence also played a very big role in terms of tea acceptance in all the cultures that we know today. So you guys are ready?
yeah
Okay, I normally begin by asking my clients, how long do you have with me? Because it can take the shortest time possible and the longest time possible. Country in Asia, and it was 3,000 years ago. That is 2737 BC.
China.
Wow. China, another guess?
African countries.
It is in Asia.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Any other? No. Okay, I'll give you another hint. If you go right now to a shop that is around here, buy a bottle, buy a watch, buy a radio, buy a TV, chances are very high that it's made in that country.
Russia.
Japan.
Everything is made in China. Made in China, made in China, made in China, made in China. Discovered in China 3,000 years ago. That is 2737 BC. And it was discovered by someone who was called Sheng Nong. Sheng Nong was an herbalist. He was making medicine out of plants. So he had realized that when people drink water without boiling, they become sick. So he went ahead to advise the people of China that they should be drinking water that is boiled. So since then, the culture of boiling it cultivated itself, and everyone took it as a prevention measures to those waterborne diseases that come when you use dirty water. So one time, Sheng Nong was in a forest with his servants, and they wanted clean water to drink. So what happened is that they went to a stream, picked clear water, clean water. They set it on an open pot to boil so that they can get to drink this water. They went ahead to test this water and kind of know what is this magical plant that when it is infused in water, it gets to change the color of water this way. So they went ahead to test the water, they smelled the aroma, and after a few minutes they felt this relaxation effect that comes with alertness after drinking tea. So henceforth, Sheng Nong went ahead to do a lot of research about this plant. First of all, he measured his research on the health factors of tea. That we understand tea has a lot of detoxifying agents, and also it has a lot of antitoxins. Sheng Nong used to test medicine from all the plants. He had took a lot of toxins. He had consumed a lot of toxins. So he used tea to detoxify his body. So first tea was accepted as a medicine. Later on, it was cultivated in the culture of Chinese people that even when you go to the villages, there are events that you can join there and get to taste tea. Tea that has been prepared with ants on each and every experience. I mean the traditional way of preparing tea. So from there, tea now spread to all over. But it didn't go to any other place before it went to India. So tea went to India first, and someone can ask you, how did tea get to India? Legends has a story that it happened during the reign of someone who was called Prince Bordhaman of India. So he left India to go to Japan and China to teach people meditation on the earth of Buddhism. So upon going there, the Chinese people welcomed the prince with the tea. They say that tea helped him to meditate the longest time possible. So at the end of that meditation, he felt asleep. But out of great discipline, he went ahead to cut his eyelids so that he never sleeps again while in meditation. But when he came to China, when he came back to India, he told the Indian people, you might try this plant. It's very amazing, and it has this calming and alertness that comes with it. And it's a very good plant. So that is how the culture of India also, that is how the tea was incorporated in the culture of the Indian people. That is why we say to date, the Chinese people happens to be the first #1 people in terms of tea production, followed by India, then there comes #3 Kenya. Okay. Yes. So from there now, someone also will ask you, how did the tea move from India and China to Kenya? It did not come to Kenya straight. It had to go to Europe. Someone also will ask you, how did it go to Europe? It was now during the time of trade. Now that is where trade comes in. That the people began the modern type of trade we know today are the Portuguese and the Dutch people. Yeah. So they used to take horses from Europe to the Chinese people, and the Chinese people give them tea in terms of the produce and in terms of the seedlings. So tea got to Portugal. But also, tea did not move from Portugal to Kenya straight. It had to go to England. Yes. So this was also during the reign of someone who was called King Charles II. So that time, Portugal and Britain never had a good relationship. So as a form of a peace treaty, the king from England, King Charles II, had to marry a lady from Portugal. She was called Catherine of Braganza. So when the queen came to England, she introduced a culture of people drinking tea and taking tea during court proceedings and after court proceedings. That is how also the England people loved tea. But now, they hated one thing. They couldn't go to the Indian people to colonize them and get tea. They found these Indian people so alert and they want to do business on the paper, not any exploitation or anything. They went to China and they found the Chinese people are very hostile. They cannot even be colonized such easily. They cannot be exploited. So the only way they were to maximize production from their far end and also increase profit was to plant this plant itself. But that is where now they faced a challenge called Mother Nature. What are these climatic conditions that support the growth of tea? Now that is where Jennifer comes in. Yes.
Through the maintenance of the tea, and how to maintain it, and for this beauty all to be seen, for you to come and admire it. So maintenance, it doesn't have much, but the moment you miss one step, you will lose all of this, because you have to take care of it. It's like an egg, you have to take care of it. If you miss one step, you lose all of this beauty. So the maintenance, you have to weed off. If there are weeds, you can just use your hands to weed off. But at the same time, there are not much weed around it. But it's good that you just take rounds of it as a farmer. If you find there are weeds, you just take off the weeds using your hands most of the time. There are also times that you pick, just like the way you pick the tea. As a farmer, you have to know how to pick off the dry leaves off, so that you can give it time, so that it can produce better leaves, the better tea leaves that will just come in. Enjoy. So it doesn't have much maintenance about it. And then of course the trees to have the shade, because of the sun. At times, the sun at times it affects the crops. So for the Kiambu people, our sun is not that high as compared to Mombasa, where the sun is so hot. So in such like this in Mombasa, it won't progress so well because of the much sun.
Hotter weather.
Yes.
Hotter weather.
Yeah, hot weather.
Yeah, hot weather. So it just needs a cool and wet weather.
Seem like that. But